Hello, my name is Fariba Parsa. I am the founder and president of Women's E-Learning Leadership. The Well organization is a nonprofit organization in the state of Virginia in USA. We empower Iranian and Afghan women in leadership skills through online courses, mentorship, and global networking. Our vision is a democratic country, and free and democratic country when men and women have the same opportunities in politics and in economy and social and culture, all life's affairs. So that is a very mission-based nonprofit organization. And one of the challenges many women organizations have is building relationship with other organization. It's about more marketing and especially receiving grants. Many of us work for free as a voluntary, as an intern student, and have my experience with women organization is very similar, challenging with lack of sources and especially grant. I'm very fortunate through a nonprofit Hive meet Sabina. She is an expert in supporting organizations and individuals in marketing and in their business, or nonprofit organizations, many other things. So it's I'm honored to have Sabine in this interview talk about herself and what she's doing about the company. And also we are going to talk about building relationship that I had a chat with Sabine and was so fascinating. Think, not only me and many other women organizations should listen to her um, to her experience, her knowledge that we can use in our organization. So, yeah, welcome to this interview, Sabine. Can you tell about yourself? Where do you live, and about your journey? What you have done, and how you begin this company? What you do in your life? Thank you.
Hello, Farah. Thank you very much for having me. So my name is Sabine Panneau. Um, Originally I'm from France, so I was born and grew up in France. And at the age of 20, moved to the UK. Um, Wanted to experience something different. So it was a kind of it was a decision to go to the UK. It was at the beginning really for a short period, and it lasted way longer. And my plans actually changed while I was there. While I was there, I went to university in the UK. So I graduated with a degree in business administration, and straight after university, started working as a fundraiser for a national museum in London. So I lived in London for 12 years. And so I started my profession as a fundraiser. Then life made me move countries. So after London, I moved to Spain, um, where I didn't know the language, but I went there and learned it on the spot. And did a short, intensive Spanish course. And but professionally, it was hard to be a fundraiser there. So that's when started looking at how can I use my current skills in communication, in making connection with donors at the organization that I worked for before, and how to translate that to more the corporate world. So that's where I started in digital marketing. Um, from Spain, then I moved to Argentina, where I currently live. So I've been in Argentina for the last 14 years, and the last 10 years, and then for 10 years, I worked in digital marketing. So really focusing on creating content using emails and using all the online tools, the digital world, to be able to connect with clients, for my employers. At the beginning, I was an employee in a company. Then a few years ago, I decided to start as a business owner and working with my own clients. And then the last couple of years, I've added my skills of a fundraising and I'm working both with nonprofit organizations and entrepreneurs. So offering everything to do around digital marketing and then fundraising strategies for my clients.
Wow, what a adventure! Adventurous is life. You have been in different countries, I think 5 different countries. Yeah.
In total, yes, yeah, because I also lived in Germany as well for a few months. While I was in London, I also did, yes, I spent a little bit of
How,
time in Germany.
what was the impact living in so many different countries, in different continents, and speak different so many languages and speak so well English, so as a British. So how do you think it has impacted your life, the person you became?
It really shaped me, especially since I left my own country as a young age. I was 19 when I was just a week before my 20th birthday when I arrived in London. And I feel like I'm definitely not who I was originally when I grew up. I feel like I've added a lot of cultural baggage that I had coming from the UK, Germany, Spain, and now Argentina, and also living with people when I was living in London with people from all around the world. And I definitely feel like I've added that to my own kind of luggage as part of who I am, all those different cultures and what I've learned from people. So for me, the main thing that I've learned is to adapt, to be able to, okay, there's a new situation, new language. What can I do? How can I do that? And I would say, luckily, the languages that I had to learn were similar to either to French. So Spanish to French wasn't too hard. German I had learned at school and English as well at school. So it wasn't like I ended up in a country where I knew nothing of the language. It's more of kind of there's similarities. But definitely, yes, learning to adapt and then my last experience really in Argentina is resilience, because it's a country where they have to reinvent themselves all the time because of the financial crisis they go through. So it's kind of learning how to, okay, from what I have, what can I do now? From the skills that I have, from the knowledge that I have, how can I apply it to a different environment? And I'll definitely learn that here in Argentina.
Yeah, fascinating. And also adopting. Even I'm thinking some people live in the same country, but the situation can be changed. They can learn how they adopt about the economic crisis. But I know many Iranian, Afghan women or families, they had to leave the country because of the political reasons. That's I inclusive myself, living in different countries. And I also have an impact any the person we became, became more global and open to people from all over the world. That's yeah, that's so wonderful. um, One of the things we had a chat in a nonprofit hive about building relationship, and it's as when we start a nonprofit and we are so uh, um, have passion to want to make a change. For example, Iranian women or Afghan women, we think about gender equality, about freedom, about democracy, and the execution of women that is happening actually these days, and imprisoning women. Many violence against women. There are so many of things that we need to think about that and work on it. Is much more activities. We forget about marketing. It's like also in non we are non-profit, but we are also a business. We need to hire people. We need to pay for technology for all the costs. So I think it is your advice for us for this grassroots organization that have a it's a vision to for freedom, for democracy, for a very long-term goal, and uh, so people are very active, but we need to think about okay how we apply for grants, how we connect with other donors or maybe other organization. Uh, Collaborate with similar organization. What is your advice?
Sure. Yeah, yes, you're so right. When you have the passion, when you're in your organization and you're taking so many different, you have to take so many decisions and you have to be active on so many different fronts. Sometimes you need both. You need the passion for the work that you do, but you, as you just said, you need the funding, you need the partnership with other organizations, and that's where, in my experience, coming from the fundraising background and then going into the marketing, um, um, as a tool, like using marketing as a tool, I realized actually both were really linked. It's about building a relationship with people so that people understand what you do and people come on board and support you. So whether it's a financial support or as a partnership or is to work with you as a volunteer or as a paid staff. So there's so many different aspects. But it's really around building relationship with people. And organizations need that, not just the work on the ground, but the work that fundraisers do, or most often, very often, it's the charity funders that end up doing that. Um, and I always say in fundraising, you want two things. You want the trust, and then you want to build the trust with your audience, and you want to show transparency so that people decide to take action and to join you, whether it's a financial commitment, whether it's a time commitment, whether it's to support your cause, and then make the right introduction with people, with donors that can support you. And it really, that's where the building the relationship. So it's through communication, really sharing your message, your visions, your vision, what you want to do, and the stories that are happening within your organization. So what is the impact? Sometimes it may seem very kind of anecdotal, but it's important to show specific stories of the work that is happening within your organization. So really leading with the stories to be able to bring people on board and to show the impact that your organization has on the community, whether it's Afghan women, whether it's leadership, it's mentorship, really looking at what's happening within your organization and looking at how can you communicate that. So and using all the tools, and nowadays the tools, the digital marketing tools are there to help us as organization to get the message across. And there is a lot of funding happening from the trusts and foundations around the world that are supporting organizations, but it's not just an application, filling in an application. There's a communication aspect of it, and there's building relationship with those organizations so that they themselves, they want to make sure that they're funding projects that are making an impact. And so for you, it's a kind of two-way communication. You really have to show the impact that your work has. And that goes from digital marketing and social media, and also building relationship with those organizations. So funding them on LinkedIn, sending emails, getting recommendations from people that have already maybe got some funds through them, and getting an introduction, an email introduction to start building that relationship with donors and funders around the world.
Yeah, that's there are a lot we need to consider as steps that to from building relationship to receive a grant. One of the important things you mentioned about trust, and the people who I mean, we have trust one group donors that we when we apply grants. So that's question how we build trust. They trust us, and the other group, they are Iranian women, Afghan women, that they trust us and join to the organization. They want to be a member or join to our classes and be with a well organizations team, and trust to similar women organization, the maybe American or Canadian or the European women organizations that they want to empower women, but we exist, and that maybe we can collaborate. That is can be huge for us to connect with a major organization to get support about some for their sources, but also have can be some cultural exchanges. They can support them to the work they do. So you can see different kind of building trust. So can you elaborate it, talk about a little more about this different form for some all the women organization, the organization, nonprofit, we need to work on and build trust.
Sure. So I would say the first point to be able to build a trust with anyone is to share your why. Why did you start the organization? So it could be your personal story as a charity funder. It could be a story that impacted your life, not your personal, but you've seen the impact on someone else's close to you, and your why is very important. As organization leaders, why do they join an organization? Why do they, you know, put this message up? Why their reason, their personal reason. So again, as I was saying earlier, it may seem anecdotal or it's just my story. Is there's so many different other stories, but funders or partners they want to, especially since the connections are online, a lot of things happening online. um, that's where that need for transparency, see a face of someone, seeing video is a great way to share a message because you get to see the person on the other side. It's a way to connect with someone. It's sometimes it's easier and faster than text. So, reading an article on someone's story is not the same thing as seeing someone sharing their story on a video. And that's why using all those different tools. So not just videos, but text is important. So that's why really having a mix of different tools to share your story. But definitely I would say start with why. Why does this organization exist? And there's a lot of communication around that because people connect emotionally to other people through their stories. Um, and and so for you, there is the funder, the charity funder, or the organization funder, or the leader of the organization. Why do they start it? Um, and then you mentioned the trust and going back to what, especially for donors, um, often it's not a case of I don't know what to give. I don't know who to give the money to. I want to make sure that this is going towards a project that is sustainable, that's going to last. It's not just a one-off um, a thing happening now. There's a long-term project. It's something that is, the amount of people looking at the impact, how many people will going to go through this program, how their life will change, how can they expect to do after going through a specific program. So you mentioned leadership programs for leadership for Iranian women and Afghan women. So how will this allow them to, what will they be able to do after? So really going into the long term, people can see the need, especially as well as charities. We need to say that why we need the money for. So where it's going to be used, and the different programs and the amount of people that we can touch. And it's going back to the why, the life that we're going to touch through that program, and what is the change that we want to see happening in the world. That's definitely for me really the starting point of those relationships to be able to connect with people.
Yeah, that's true. That's only we say about connecting. It's just not sending a proposal and then asking for money without they know about our who we are, what we do, and why we exist. That's
Definitely.
correct. Yeah, maybe now as I'm thinking, talk about your company, what is your services, sources, and how uh, organization or individual can connect with you, what they can expect, get support from you if they visit your I know you have a website. Maybe you can talk about your what you do.
Sure, sure. So, kind of the reason why I'm doing, going back to the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is I realized that as an employee, I had great mentors. I had people who were guiding me in my journey, and they were supporting me, and they were not judgmental of things that I was doing and the errors I was making. And I still there's a few that from very early in my career that I'm very grateful for. And so a few years ago, when I wanted to really deciding on using digital marketing and fundraising as the service that I offer to my clients, I realized I actually really just narrow it down towards mentoring on those topics rather than doing it for themselves, for my clients. So really what I do now is mentor um, organizations, social entrepreneurs, and charities and nonprofits in building that relationship with their donors and raising more funds and using tools like LinkedIn, like email marketing to connect with their audience. So really focusing on mentoring, I work with clients all around the world. I have clients in Australia, in Europe, in the US, and a few other countries around the world where we meet as a mentoring capacity. So they to talk about all the things that are happening within the organization or within their job, and sometimes asking for advice, sometimes just to be able to say things and speak it out loud, because sometimes just expressing themselves, they themselves find the solution to what their problem is. And sometimes in our conversation, and they say, "Oh, actually, that made me think of that's what I wanted to do, and that's the idea that I had originally, and I forgot about that, and all that kind of thing." So it happens all the time, and that's where I build this space for them to be able to ask questions, to get feedback, to get accountability sometimes as well. It's lonely to be a charity funder and to lead projects. You don't always have someone to just to ask questions or to get a thumbs up. So could you have a look at that? And how do you think, what do you think about that? And so that's why I come in. I I may not know everything about their own organization. They're the expert, but I'm there to look at the process and say, well, 2 weeks ago you mentioned that. Were you able to go and talk to this person, or were you able to do this and that we discussed? So it's really as well going back to um, being accountable to be that support for them. And I'll also do a lot of pro bono work as well, mentoring women in digital marketing and women in leadership around within the nonprofit sector. So I'm combining both doing paid work and pro bono work. Um, and for me, is really to be able to be of service of women around the world that are taking action and doing amazing work, and to be able to support them in my expertise in digital marketing and in fundraising. But really, they're the one doing the work, and I'm just there to support them.
Yeah, wonderful. And the mentorship you provide, is it one-on-one or is it group mentorship?
I do one-on-one mentorship. It's not, I haven't looked at group mentorship yet. It's really, I love that one-on-one interaction with the people that I work with, either I volunteer as a paid work. And I love to be able to go and look at the progress that's been made. So it's usually between 3 to 6 months mentorship programs where we have time to discuss and to look at the strategy and what they've been able to implement during that time, and looking at what's coming up for the future, and so that they in the future be able to do it themselves because they've gone through the process once of looking at the strategy and then implementing it.
Yeah, wonderful. So, how can other people who maybe see this, watch this video, be connect with you and yeah, here if you have a blog, anything, so they can get benefit of your expertise.
Yes, definitely. So I'm active, definitely active on LinkedIn. So that's where you can find me. My name is Sabine Panneau. You'll find me there on LinkedIn. And then I also have a website where there's kind of two sections on the website. There's the marketing blog and there's the fundraising blog. And on both, I talk about I had to build relationship. I had to use tools like databases and CRM. I had to use LinkedIn, to grow your audience, reach more people, and to be able to do your work and to use those tools to support you in your work. So my website is sabinefeb.com.
Wonderful. So we will write your website, so put a link on
Yes.
this video so people can go and connect with you and learn about more about what you do. Thank you so much. It was very valuable what we learned here about fundraising, about organization, organization development. This is a part of a journey, a long journey and hard work. And thank you, and yeah, hope to see you again.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me, Paribas. Thank you very much.
Thank you.